It was a quiet night in Los Angeles, just another summer evening. I was finishing up some routine paperwork when the radio crackled to life, and the voice on the other end was tense. Two bodies had been found, brutally murdered, outside a home in Brentwood, an upscale neighborhood. Murders in this area were rare, especially of this nature. I gathered my things and made my way to the scene, wondering what awaited me. When I arrived, the flashing lights from patrol cars lit up the night, casting shadows on the meticulously maintained properties. The crime scene was chaotic, but nothing could prepare me for what I saw as I approached the entrance of the home. Lying on the walkway was the body of a woman, her neck slashed so viciously it nearly severed her head. Nearby, sprawled in the bushes, was a second body, a man beaten and stabbed. Blood covered the scene, pooling on the pristine concrete, soaking into the ground. This was no random act of violence. The brutality spoke of rage, of something personal. I bent down, taking in the scene. The woman, still in her dress from the evening, was quickly identified as Nicole Brown Simpson. The man, a friend of hers, who had seemingly arrived at the wrong place at the wrong time, was Ronald Goldman. There was no sign of forced entry. Whoever had done this had either been allowed in or caught them by surprise. As I surveyed the area, my eyes fell on a single leather glove, stained with blood, lying near the scene. It seemed out of place, as though it had been dropped in haste. It was the first clue, a small piece of the puzzle that would come to dominate my life in the coming months. The investigation kicked into high gear. We combed through every inch of the property, gathering evidence. Blood samples, footprints, fibers. Everything pointed to a crime of passion. But there was something else, something gnawing at me. The woman was the ex-wife of one of the most famous men in America, O.J. Simpson, the former football star, actor, and celebrity. Their divorce had been messy, filled with allegations of abuse. My gut told me that this wasn't just about robbery or random violence. This was personal. As we started piecing together the timeline, witnesses began to surface. Neighbors reported hearing a dog barking frantically that night. A housekeeper recalled seeing a white Bronco speeding away from the area. The focus of our investigation narrowed, and all signs seemed to point to one person, O.J. Simpson. We brought Simpson in for questioning, but he was calm, too calm. He denied everything, claimed he was in Chicago at the time of the murders. His alibi was shaky, though. The more we dug, the more inconsistencies we found. Then came the bombshell, DNA evidence. Blood found at the scene matched O.J.'s. The glove we found, the one that seemed so out of place, it too was linked to him. It was enough to issue a warrant for his arrest. But Simpson didn't turn himself in. What followed was one of the most surreal moments of my career, a slow-speed chase broadcast live across the nation. O.J. Simpson, a fugitive, in the back of that infamous white Ford Bronco with his friend behind the wheel. The entire country watched as we tracked the vehicle down the freeway. It was as though the world had stopped, everyone glued to their televisions, watching history unfold in real time. When we finally brought Simpson into custody, the real battle began. What should have been a straightforward case, a mountain of evidence, DNA, motive, turned into the trial of the century. The defense, led by high-profile attorneys, attacked every piece of evidence we had gathered. They questioned the integrity of the crime scene, accused the LAPD of planting evidence, and cast doubt on the forensics. And then, of course, there was the glove, the one we found at the scene, the one that had fit every theory of the case perfectly. During the trial, Simpson was asked to try it on, and it didn't fit. Whether it had shrunk or whether he manipulated the situation, I'll never know. But in that moment, everything shifted. The defense hammered the now famous line, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." We had the DNA, we had the motive, we had the evidence, but none of it seemed to matter. The defense painted a picture of a conspiracy, of racial tensions within the LAPD, of a system rigged against Simpson. The jury, swayed by the arguments, deliberated, and the unthinkable happened. O.J. Simpson was acquitted of the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. As I stood in the back of the courtroom, listening to the verdict, there was no sense of relief, no closure. I had worked cases where we didn't catch the killer, but this was different. We had caught him. We had the evidence. And yet, he walked free. Nicole and Ron were the victims of a vicious, senseless crime. Their families were shattered. The public was divided, the trial leaving scars on the nation. And as for me, I couldn't shake the feeling that justice had slipped through our fingers. The truth had been buried beneath a spectacle of celebrity, race, and theatrics. I still think about that night, about the lives lost. O.J. Simpson may have been acquitted in the eyes of the law, but in my mind, the evidence was clear. The blood told the story. Nicole's and Ron's mingled with O.J.'s, and that story didn't lie.